UFC 309 is tomorrow night, headlined by John Jones taking on Stipe Miocic. This is a super fun card. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to breaking it down. If you want a longer, more in-depth breakdown, check out my video from a couple days ago, because this is going to be a quick picks and betting thoughts, going through each and every fight, starting at the bottom, working my way to the top. If you missed Tuesday's episode of Wager Wars, we had Dogfather and Pegasus picks on for the first time, and it was a really fun one. They went through each and every fight, as always, gave their favorite bet on every single fight. So we'll see who wins that tomorrow night as well. Make sure you leave a like on this video, click subscribe, let me know in the comments who your favorite underdog on this entire card is, what your betting thoughts are on this card, and don't forget to turn your post notifications on so you don't miss Wager Wars, so you don't miss the betting videos each and every week, because we have been on a hot streak all year. Let's keep it going, man. Let's get into this first fight on the card. We got Veronica Hardy taking on Eduardo Mora. I like Hardy here. I just think the speed, the quickness, the striking advantage. Mora, she is a big girl. She's coming up to 125, but actually, even though Hardy used to fight at 135 and Mora fought at 115, Mora could never really make 115, and Hardy was super undersized for 35. She's still kind of undersized at 25. Mora still gonna have a size advantage probably. We'll see at the face-offs, but I just think the speed, the quickness for Hardy, the striking advantage, she should be able to stuff the takedowns, at least for the most part. If she gets put on her back, it could get a little dicey. That's why I haven't bet it. I'm tempted to bet Hardy, but I haven't yet. She's sitting at like minus 140 right now. I just don't, as you guys know, I don't bet a lot of women's favorites. It's typically dog or pass for me. Next up, we got Oban Elliott taking on Basil Hafez. I think Oban Elliott wins here. I think it goes 15 though. I mean, Hafez, he does have some power, but it doesn't typically translate into knockouts. He's got some pretty good grappling, though. Maybe, the problem is so does Oban Elliott, and I just think he's also just a bigger, longer, better striker. I think he wins a 15-minute decision, but honestly, this line's getting a little crazy. I don't hate a dog shot on Hafez, and honestly, the more this has grown, Elliott's almost minus 300 now. It's kind of one of the lines that's starting to stick out to me to where it's like, do I need to play this? Because I really honestly think Oban Elliott should be like, minus 200, and now he's like minus 300, so it's, I don't know, man. I think he wins. I think he wins by decision, but it's 2024. These decisions are always close with these judges. And also, Hafez has some finish upside. So, the pick is Elliott, but I would not be betting him at 3-1. Moving on, we got my first bet on the card. Mickey Gall taking on Ramiz Brahimaj. I am not a Brahimaj guy. No disrespect. I've faded him successfully 3 times. I just think Mickey Gall, yeah, he's got a salty record, but he's been in the UFC from the beginning. He's fought much better competition, and, I think he's the better striker. I think he can stay alive in the grappling. Yes, the early sub is always live for Brahimaj. Maybe he can snatch the neck up early, but Gall's never been submitted. I think he keeps it on the feet. I think he boxes Brahimaj up. This is win or go home for Mickey Gall, and I think he gets it done. I think he gets the win and stays in the UFC. Give me Mickey Gall by decision. I don't hate the over, but honestly, the only reason I'm not is because it kind of feels like I'm doubling up if I bet the over, because Brahimaj's win condition is the early sub. So I think I'll go ahead and stay off that, but I wouldn't hate anybody playing the over or Gall. I just don't really want to feel like I'm doubled down on a guy like Gall. Not super trustworthy. I just think he wins the fight. Next up, Marcin Tybura, Jonathan Deniz. This is like one of 2 fights that I feel like is a coin toss, man. If you got the plus money on either side, I think you did your job. Tybura, I've always bet, I've bet successfully, except in that last fight, that Spivak fight, but that was kind of a meme, heavyweight armbar, shit happens in a cage fight. If Tybura gets him down, man, he probably finishes him, at least if there's over a minute and a half on the clock. But I think I just have this weird feeling Deniz is going to catch him with a left hook, knock him out at some point. Give me Deniz by knockout, but I am not confident. I genuinely think it's a coin toss. I'll take the underdog, Deniz. And we'll move on to the opposite of an underdog. We got the biggest favorite on the card. Actually, maybe Nickel is now. Roberto Romero taking on David Onama. Romero coming out on short notice. He's going to get smoked most likely, man. I think he's tough. Maybe this line is wide. Typically, you guys know me. On a spot like this, is Onama typically a guy that you want to bet at over minus 1,000? No. I think he's like minus 1,200 on a couple books now, but I just think he's genuinely better everywhere. Romero is tough though, so maybe Onama gasses trying to finish him. He knows he's supposed to finish this guy. If he gasses trying to finish him, I will say the one thing about Romero is he's decently well-rounded and he's tough. So maybe he can survive. Maybe he can finish Onama if Onama gasses or something like that. But I don't see it happening. I think Onama gets the finish. Give me Onama by KO. No bet on this. The line's just ridiculous. Moving on to the second fight on the card that I think is a coin toss, to be honest. My boy Jim Miller taking on Damon Jackson. Man, I really like both these guys, to be honest. I love Jim Miller. I mean, these dudes are one and the same, man. Two OGs, two just cast iron dogs. Well, maybe not cast iron, just dogs on a bone. Absolute got that dog in them. I think there's gonna be a finish. I'm thinking a submission on either end. I mean, Jim Miller could definitely catch him with a right hand too, but I don't know, man. I feel like Damon Jackson, if it goes to decision, is probably Damon Jackson wins by decision. So, Jim Miller does have, his weakness has been his takedown defense. If Damon Jackson can put him on his back, he can win rounds. But I honestly think a submission happens. I'm leaning Damon Jackson, but, I really think this is a coin toss. So if you're betting Jim Miller at like plus 150, I think you're on the value side. He could snatch up a guillotine. He could land a big right hand and knock him out. I don't see him winning a decision over Damon Jackson, but I think he could find the finish in either way, to be honest. So give me Damon Jackson. Gun to my head, I'd have to pick him, but I think it's a coin toss. So the plus 150 side is probably the side you want to be on. Next up, we got another one of the homies, Chris Weidman taking on Eric Anders. I mean, he's America's homie, honestly, but really do have a spot in my heart for my boy Chris here, my former COD duo partner. Chris a freaking beast, dude. I love the guy, absolute OG, former champ. So you guys know, a reason I have to say that at the beginning of the breakdown is because otherwise there'll be the comment, "Oh, you're biased, bro." Yes, I am biased. He is the homie. That being said, honestly, like, people are acting like Eric Anders is like some 25-year-old prospect. Like, he's also kind of coming into his, the twilight of his career. Hasn't been looking great. The performances, even in the wins, haven't been super pretty. Yes, is Chris like at his peak? He's had 500 surgeries. Like, the human body can only withstand so much. The dude is an absolute dog. There's a lot of just like veteran dogs on this card, but I just think Chris is better, man. I think he can outland him on the outside. I think he could, I don't think Eric Anders can take him down. So if anything, I think Chris could take him down. Maybe Eric can try to hold him up against a cage, but even that's a tall order against a guy like Chris. Like, who really does that to Chris? I'm going to take Weidman, man. I bet him at plus 140. This line now, you can get him at like plus 105. I mean, hey, it seems like I'm a little scared now because it seems like a lot of Twitter is on him. I don't know if he's like public dog because honestly I haven't been on Twitter a ton this week, but hopefully not because that typically doesn't work out well. But I like Weidman to get it done, man. I'm going to take him to win by decision. And we will move on to the next fight. We got Jonathan Martinez taking on Marcus McGee. I bet Marcus McGee here, man. I think he wins. I think he's super well-rounded. He's got the finish upside. He could find a choke. He could land a big shot and knock Martinez out. He could also win a decision. I know he's a little older for a prospect. I know this is a big step up and a step down for Martinez. Typically not a spot I like to bet chalk. But I honestly think McGee has the juice. I think this dude's good. And I think he gets the KO and gets a big win. And it'll be a big matchup next. 4-0 in the UFC. After a big win like Martinez. Going on to the main card, we got Mauricio Hoofy taking on James Yontop. A catch weight of 165 because James coming in on short notice couldn't make the weight and he even misses 165. So could that help him? Could it at least help him survive? Maybe. He's definitely not going to be dehydrated, but I think he just knows he's getting smoked and he's unmotivated, man. I don't see him winning this fight, man. But at the end of the day, should Hoofy be this big of a favorite? No. I don't blame anybody taking a big underdog shot. You guys know this is a spot, again, like this and the Onama fight, like, these are spots where, if you fade both them, man, there's a decent chance you end up profiting, man. There really is. But I don't know if I can get around to it, man. I'm not a big Yontop guy, and it's one thing. Borshev, I've never been super high on, and I really thought he could win that fight. Honestly, there's an argument he did win the fight, to be fair. It was a close fight, but I think Hoofy's good, man. Do I think he should be this big of a favorite? No, but I do think he clips him with a head kick at some point and knocks him out. Even though James has been super durable, so maybe he can make it to decision, especially after being like 1,000,000 pounds overweight. But, yeah, give me Hoofy by KO to be the first to knock him out. We'll move on to the next fight. We got Karine Silva taking on Viviana Araujo. I also think this line's a little wide, but I do think Karine gets it done. Ariujo could have some success early, but her gas tank's not great. She's super hittable. It's tough to have faith in her to win a 15-minute decision because she slows down. She gets tagged up what the judges don't like. I think she'll have some success, and that's why the only bet on this fight I have is Silva by split decision plus 1,000. I think you can still get that too on Bet Online. So Silva, I think she's gonna win a close decision. Typically, I just go split in general, but I think if it goes to split, we know who they're going to be wanting to give it to, the younger girl with more potential. Even though, it's not like she's like 25, but 30, she's still got a solid, even in this division, Ariujo's 37. She's got her losses. She's had, 1-3 in her last. I think close decision, Karine Silva. I don't think she gets the finish here. Ariujo's pretty tough, unless she gasses. Next up, we got Bo Nickel taking on Paul Craig. Look, man, I think Bo Nickel should smash. This is a step up, but, he should smash. And I'm big on Bo Nickel. I'm biased. I love the guy, too. Even though, is he he's the most entertaining guy in the mic? No, but he's an American wrestler. I'm a root for the guy. But at the end of the day, this is a step up. I took Craig by sub 16-1. And I also took fight starts round 2, minus 105. I don't think, yes, if Nickel has power, he could catch Craig and knock him out. But if Craig's coming in here to try to really, he's coming in here to win, I don't think he's going to get smoked in the first round, man. I think, second round, third round, Bo gets the finish. Probably is by TKO. But, I'm going to say Paul can at least stretch it out. And then I just think 16-1 for pretty much his money line is straight, man. Yes, I don't typically like to get greedy, and I would just take the 8-1 money line in case he were to just clip Nickel with a meme shot on the feet, or Nickel just death gasses and gets TKO'd. But I don't know. I got a little greedy. 16-1. I think it's a really good line. Just take a couple little sprinkles on some shots that I think are off. But I do think Bo wins. Next up, Charles Oliveira taking on Michael Chandler. Interesting fight. Hard to be super confident. I think the line probably is a little wide. But I do think Charles wins. Not super wide. I think Charles should be minus, maybe minus 180, minus 200. But he's minus, is that still right? Minus 260 or something. I don't hate people taking dog shots on Chandler. I can't really get around to it. I don't know if I'm buying into the staff thing. I'm sure he's coming in. I don't know. I've seen some pictures where it looks fine. A couple where it looks kind of bad. It is what it is. He is getting a little up there. He is had a long layoff. Charles does have a win over him. I think Charles should win. I think maybe I'd probably line it minus 220. So, I don't want to lay Charles Oliveira, but what I am confident in is there being a finish. So I went ahead and parlayed the under 3.5 in first leg of my only parlay. And I'll talk about the second leg in the main event here in a second. I think Charles gets the finish. Runic could choke in the second round. But Chandler could land a right hand. He could knock him out for sure. Charles could knock him out as well. I like the under. Safe. I think the under 2.5 is pretty safe too. But for the instances of this parlay, what I wanted to pair it with, I like this. The under 3.5, I will be seriously pretty fucking shocked if it goes to the 5th round or the end of the 4th. And we will move on to the main event, man. Appreciate you making this far. Like the video, click subscribe, all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys. Let me know your favorite bet on this entire card in the comments. I got John Jones to win. Look, no hot take there. But I am tempted to bet Stipe minus or plus 500, man. It's just, this is a heavyweight fight. John hasn't fought a lot of guys who sizes up so well with him, man. Stipe is older. He's had a ton of inactivity. He got brutally KO'd in his last fight, but it's not like John's been super much more active. He is, arguably the GOAT. Do you want to get in the business of fading John Jones? No, but at least against Cyril, it was almost even money most of the way. This fight, he's minus 850. I don't know, man. I think Stipe's got a better chance than that. I think John should be minus 400. Minus 400 would be. This is heavyweight. You never want to bet minus 850 heavyweight. Now I get it. If you're gonna do it with one of the GOATs, if not the GOAT. But he really hasn't had a true heavyweight fight yet. Even if he has for 2 minutes, against a super stylistic, good matchup, whatever it is, this is just completely different. I think John wins, but man, plus 500 is kind of calling my name. What I did like is the over 1.5. I don't think John just smokes him out of there and a round and a half. So I parlayed that at minus 170. I parlayed it with that under 3.5. On the co-main. That got me minus 108. I like that. I think it cashes pretty easily. Is what it is. Knock on wood. I'll tweet it out if I do, but I am a little tempted at that plus 500 Stipe, man. It's just, man, anytime you can get a plus 500 on somebody, one of the best of the division ever, arguably the heavyweight GOAT. It's hard to say that'd be a bad idea. But that's it, man. Leave a like on the video. Click subscribe. Turn those post notifications on. Let me know in the comments your favorite bets on the entire card. I'll run through my bets one more time. I forgot. I got that parlay I just talked about, the over 1.5, the under 3.5, and the main and co-main. Craig by sub, plus 1,600. Bo Nickel versus Craig starts round 2. Silva by split, plus 1,000. The starts round 2 is minus 105, by the way. Mickey Gall, minus 125. Weidman, plus 140. And McGee, minus 120. Those are my bets. Thinking about Hafez if that line gets crazy. Thinking about Stipe. There's a couple other ones. I'll tweet it out if I play it. I mean, maybe if that Jim Miller line got crazy, but, I don't know. I'd like to stay off that fight, but, I do think, plus 150 is a little generous. But that's it for me, man. I appreciate you guys. I will catch you later on in the week. Until then, good luck.